We are Big Motor Small Blade. I am Buddy Pulley, and this is Ville. Today, the man of the people, Dale Earnhardt Jr. returns, and the people of the man have come out in full force. Junior! Yeah. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully Dale Jr. will win. We have buds just for him because this bud is for you. And this bud here is for you. And this bud here is for you. Thank you. Get this out of the way. This is Big Motor Small Blade Podcast. I'm Buddy Pulley.
I'm Seth Dolby.
And they needed to move the fucking Martinsville race from April.
Again.
Yeah, they need to move it from April back to May, where they had it scheduled for 2020, and then it got moved to June because of COVID.
And then they're like, okay, I guess we don't
need
to move
cold.
It to May.
It was so cold.
Yeah, that was brutal.
It was 38 degrees, which, I mean, it's been colder. I mean, football fans are going to shit on us. They sit in -2 degrees in Minnesota or whatever, but
not Minnesota. That stadium's indoors, but Green Bay. Yeah.
Yeah. Green Bay. But God, yeah, there's no reason. You could easily, Darlington's hot as balls. You could easily switch Darlington and Martinsville. Put Darlington in April. It would be beautiful weather in Darlington in April. And then put Martinsville in May, and it'd be fine. They both work.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, I've been saying it for a while now. Yep. So we get shit done on this podcast, apparently.
Who the hell runs ISC? We'll get in contact with them.
It's NASCAR.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's like a certain person in charge of.
Ben Kennedy handles a lot of the scheduling stuff.
All right, Ben.
Yeah,
help us out.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy. I'll listen.
You probably get better. You probably get better attendance too, because then the Darlington races are farther apart. The weather's better for maybe both.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah. But overall, Martinsville was fun.
The weekend was for sure.
Yeah, the weekend was for sure. We got to do a lot of cool things. We got to interview Sam Mayer.
Yes.
After the Xfinity race. If you haven't watched that video, check it out. And we'll also add it into the Buddy Pulley Safari. And met Dale Jr. That was cool.
Yep. Signed my camera.
Yep. Yeah. You have it handy?
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see the moment it happened in the Buddy Pulley Safari.
Yeah,
as well.
we have. Yeah. I mean, we got Sam Mayer and Dale Jr. on the Buddy Pulley Safari this week.
Dale's not fully aware of it, but.
No, Dale was not aware.
All right. So there you go.
He kind of signed it.
It doesn't look like it, but there
is video evidence.
There's video evidence of it, so I'm not really worried about.
Well, I guess you can't see Dale signing it, but you could see him grab the camera.
I go, "Hey Dale, can you sign my camera?" And he goes, "Sure, where?"
Oh man,
that's as good a proof as I feel like I need. So
yeah, exactly.
My bag reeks of racetrack.
Oh yeah, dude, everything does.
Yeah.
We got 4 races in a row. This is number 2, and my whole apartment's gonna reek of it. There's like a certain smell you get from a racetrack on all your stuff. And you also do you also get like a racetrack hangover? Like not because you're drunk.
Like what? Like
like you just wake up and you're groggy and your like head hurts and just don't feel 100. Yeah,
a little bit. That's kind of why like longer weekends when you spend 2-3 full days at the track, it's like pretty taxing. Like I didn't do a thing today other than watch the Long Branch Grand Prix and the Canes game. That's all I did today.
Yeah, I woke up late and then also took a nap.
Turns out I got home late enough. I probably could have caught the Australian Grand Prix. Didn't realize it was on.
I watched it on the way home.
Did you?
Yeah.
I forgot it was on at 1. I was like, I saw it later. I was like, oh yeah, duh. It came on halfway across the road.
But anyway, yeah, good weekend. Met a lot of cool people. Shout out to Alec and Anthony, 2 guys. They were going to be on the safari. You'll see them. Good people. Met at the track. Always good to meet new people at the track.
Did we go through an entire Buddy Pulley Safari, which was mildly abbreviated, but did we go through an entire Buddy Pulley Safari without meeting a Michael or a Kyle?
No, but we could insert a clip of our friend Michael from
That's true.
that
Yeah,
came to the race with us.
There we go.
I mean, we could insert a clip of him, and then we just shoehorn that in. And we got a Michael.
There we go.
Yeah, what's Sam Mayer's middle name?
For purposes of this podcast, we're gonna go with Michael.
I think I'm gonna have to look that up.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and go with alpaca.
Anthon. Not exactly Michael.
Anthon?
Anthon.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I wish we'd have known that. That would have been a cool question to ask him. What the hell's up with your middle name? They just forget to write the Y when on your birth certificate.
I guess so. Anyway, cool weekend. Got to hang out with the garage guys. Chase, I will give you your hat at Bristol. Getting into the show, we have a couple things that we got to cover from last week or through the midweek. RFK Racing lost their appeal on the penalty they got. The 100-point crew chief suspension, everything was upheld. Whoa, shocker. I mean, rarely do people win an appeal.
Unless you're Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, unless you're Jimmy Johnson. So they lost the appeal. Would have been nice to, know since they lost the appeal,
Well, Brad said what it was.
Well, what was it?
They repaired a tail panel insufficiently.
Oh, yeah.
Bondo.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, haven't they said you can't use Bondo for a while now?
Well, I don't really know, but I've only done the bare minimum of body repair work in my life, and I don't know what the hell you do outside of Bondo other than I guess heating things back up and pulling dents out and all that. I'm not 100% sure how they would do it.
But they're composite. I don't
really know. But I mean, you got to be able to repair these to an extent because we don't have that many of them.
I guess, but
yeah,
Brad's on some shady shit this year.
Maybe they figured this is a throwaway year to kind of get everything going. So why not?
Brad didn't have enough throwaway years left in his career.
As an owner, he does.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is Kevin Harvick made some comments about his son and basically young drivers in general and their aspirations of going pro and where they want to race. A lot of them, he said, I live at the go-kart tracks nowadays, and none of those kids want to race NASCAR or IndyCar. They all want to race F1. And he went on to say, basically, that kids, they go down this path of wanting to be an F1 driver. They move to Europe, and so few people make it, that we lose a lot of this young talent to these kids trying to pursue Formula One, and the world is so cutthroat, and they basically get disenchanted with racing after that, and we lose some of these young drivers to that. And then he followed up with, this is talking about Keelan, his son. He's got no chance of going F1 racing. We try to make him think he has a chance of going to F1, so he'll try to overachieve in kart racing. It's reverse psychology up until the point he realizes. Some people might give Kevin a hard time for that. I think it's an interesting method, to say the least.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I guess you gotta motivate him somehow. I don't really know.
And here's the thing. We look at the demographic that this F1 Drive to Survive has, grabbed. This 18 to 40 demographic. Yeah. And they have captured all of that. I mean, I talk to people all the time that have no interest in racing that have watched that and now are watching F1 because of it. And especially these kids nowadays, they see that and they see the over dramatized, shows that they put out with Drive to Survive. And even I'm taking more of a notice to F1 this year just because I've watched that. And it really portrays F1 in this cool, young, cutthroat, which it is cutthroat, but really captures that audience, right?
Yeah.
And now NASCAR's got to figure something out with this because Kevin's not wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing is some kids are definitely going to end up being thrown off after trying to go race in Europe. But we've seen a lot of guys come back from that, from F3, F2, not making it. Hell, even getting to Formula One for a year or two.
Yeah, but they're coming back and going to IndyCar.
Yeah, but eventually they're going to run out of seats in IndyCar too. And
yeah, but we can't. Here's the thing: we can't. Well, and then they're going to go to sports cars, and we have to be ahead of the curve. We have to have, not only for the fact that we want to get these young drivers, but also the demographic it's targeting and capturing.
Yeah,
like that's the demographic that NASCAR's been wanting to get for the past 10 years and hasn't been able to achieve it quite like F1 has.
I think part of it too. So Drive to Survive is, I kind of hate using this word, but in a way it's problematic because it portrays the sport incorrectly, or the sanctioning body of the series.
You see, I don't think it.
It definitely portrays the incidents incorrectly.
It does, but I mean, you kind of got to take it with a grain. I mean, it's a Netflix show. Of course, it's going to be overdone. People give it.
Yeah.
I feel like people give it too much shit for it being so dramatic and kind of blowing this minute little rivalry or tidbit of drivers getting at each other. I feel like people, it blows it up, but I mean, that's what they got to do. It's how you make interesting TV.
Yeah. Ultimately, that part of it doesn't bother me because the people who would be most influenced by that, if they're going to turn on a race, they'd figure out pretty quickly that watching a race or an F1 race on TV is not really like that. Is it still entertaining for what it is?
It sells F1 very well.
Yeah.
Despite no matter if it's dramatic or not. And here's the thing about the issues that most people have with it. If you actually watch the race, you're not going to see those incidents anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not really, it's almost like smoke and mirrors. You don't know if that stuff's really happening. I mean, real race fans do, but then it also, gives these fans who are watching, I mean, they'll catch on eventually, but it also, it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So they get hooked on the racing.
Yeah. But I mean, if we're worried about, since it's Kevin Harvick talking about this, that, if we can't even get Kevin Harvick's son to be interested in racing professionally in NASCAR, then that's a problem. I don't know if that's necessarily as much of an issue as it is. Kid, first of all, has grown up with NASCAR. He's grown up with his dad driving in it. It's cool, but there's this thing over here where all the billionaires hang out and all the rich playboys. Yeah. It's visually appealing, especially for someone that age. And it's kind of the thing too with worrying about, I mean, it's right to worry about NASCAR's driver crop in the next 10, 15 years.
You got to.
But you're never going to get the outreach that F1 does because it's literally the most popular motorsport on the globe.
No, you're 100% right in that. But it's not only the driver crop. Kevin's obviously speaking from that just because his son is directly in that. Yeah. It's also F1's catching NASCAR.
I would, based off of the attendance at the US Grand Prix this past year, I would say that they're there.
Well, I mean, in viewership.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
NASCAR's still ahead, but F1 is, barely. Exactly. Yeah. We used to be, leaps and bounds ahead of F1. Now they're barely. So even if we need something like this, you have to get Chase Elliott. You have to get Kyle Larson. You have to get dude, could you imagine a Drive to Survive episode after California with Chase and Kyle Larson? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
Yeah. It does. So yes, I'm in full agreement. NASCAR does need to step their media foot into this market. Absolutely 100%. but it goes back to a conversation I believe we had last week, or was it 2 weeks ago, about bringing the entirety of NASCAR's production team in-house, controlled, make it as great of a product as you can. Take your series and your sport, as motorsport in general, as seriously as possible.
Yeah.
We're not getting that right now. So even if we had our own Drive to Survive series, you would maybe hook some people in. And I mean, we got people coming in from the pandemic. We had a lot of people doing that. But I don't know how sustainable that is when you tune in on TV and it looks kind of like a low budget joke. Occasionally, it looks like a low budget joke.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Yeah, I almost feel like if you're going to put all this effort into doing a show like Drive to Survive, I think you need to have the backbone already set in stone of a great TV product. Even if the racing isn't always fantastic, the TV, the cameras, the editing, I think the directing has been the worst part of NASCAR broadcasts recently. When to show what, cutting to something that's actually happening right now instead of hearing about it from the commentator and then seeing it like 8 seconds later, stuff like that. And then this is not really a slight on Clint Boyer or guys like that. I think they're instructed to do this, but get people in there who are going to take this seriously. Yeah. Today during the Long Beach Grand Prix, Lee Diffie and Townsend Bell and James Hinchcliffe are painting the picture of this race as how big of a deal it is and how all this is going. And it's so serious. I felt like I was watching a very important event. Yeah. You take the NASCAR on Fox team, which again, it's not really on Mike Joy and Clint Boyer. I feel like, and Mike Joy's trying his best. And
here's the thing. I think people are nostalgic about the 90s and early 2000s. I don't think that racing is as good as people remember it being. Almost. I mean, it had its moments, and when it did have its moments, it was natural, and there wasn't, a bunch of gimmicky, overtimes and playoffs and stuff.
Yeah.
When it did, it was great. But the overall racing product was not as leaps and bounds better than what we have right now.
No.
As we think it is. But when we had broadcasts, that took it seriously and really painted a better picture for the sport, it made it seem that way. So yeah, I mean, you're right in that we definitely need that if we're going to bring in something else. But I think it's definitely something we got to do. I mean, because you look at that Bubba Wallace thing they did, like that did very well.
Yeah.
And it brought new eyes, and I mean, I don't know. I don't get the argument of people saying it's gonna we don't need it because it's just gonna be a bunch of over dramatized bullshit. I mean, dude, that's TV. Have you never, I'm sorry.
That's the way our broadcasts are right now, just not put together well.
Yeah. They used to hype shit up, and make everything so act like it's these little minute things are so important. On old broadcasts, they just did it well.
Yeah.
That's TV. That's how that works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's it goes again. I just want to touch one more thing on the actual broadcast side of it. If you watch an F1 race and it's just the most boring race ever, I guess like a Paul Ricard France Grand Prix, basically, they're taking you to where the action actually is, even if it's hard to find and it's sparse. They're taking you to where the action is. Yeah. They're taking the pit strategy seriously. They're actually going in depth into it. You're still not going to be bored out of your mind watching it. Nowadays, if that kind of race happened at a NASCAR race, which I would bet was last night, they probably just hung out at the front, didn't really pay attention to anything else going on.
Yeah.
Again, I guess that's just me reiterating. It feels like a low quality product.
Yeah. Well, either way, whether you agree with Harvick's comments or not, that's how we got to where we're at now. I feel like we got off topic. Whether you agree with his comments or not, they're true.
Kevin's been saying for years, we need to get back to the local short tracks and shine light on that. I mean, back in the day, Winston used to sponsor that shit. That was part of the deal. Winston, when they sponsored Cup, they sponsored also, what's now the ARCA East and ARCA West and all that shit. So we need to shine light on that and make sure we're keeping the talent steered in the path of NASCAR.
Well, even like 10 years ago in like, what was it, the K&N East series? I mean, we had like 5 or 6 guys in that series then that you can point to now, and they're in the Cup series.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. And that they had some races on Speed Channel back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. And Kevin Harvick, he's done a good job. I feel like he's done a good job with his approach to, getting Keelan into racing. Because he's getting him on dirt and on asphalt and on road courses. And that's what you got to do if you're going to be a top level Cup driver. You have to be going on all of those clearly. So yeah. Moving on to the actual race. Dude. It was a miserable day at the track.
Yeah.
It was sleeting at one point during the before the race.
Yeah.
And then it rained. The race got, pushed back a little bit. And the most bizarre thing happens before the race even starts. I don't know that anyone saw it other than me. But I was sitting front row, start finish line. The 15th pit box for Rick Ware was right to the right of the start finish line. 78 pit box was a couple boxes down from on the left side of the start finish line. I saw a Live Fast Motorsports guy go up there and getting a shoving match with one of the Rick Ware Racing crew members.
What?
Before the race even started. They were like yelling at each other and shoving each other.
What the hell?
Dude, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Huh.
It was the wildest thing.
I would love to know the backstory.
Dude, I am like,
where did this start? What happened?
I started creating my own, when I was sitting there watching Chase Elliott and William Byron lead 750 laps apiece in this race. I was sitting there just imagining coming up with my own scenario and what it was he one guy banged his wife or something and he's getting back at him for that or something. Just what is a Rick Ware Racing and a Live Fast Racing crew members? What are they here? What are they fighting about? What could it possibly be?
I would love to know. Probably somebody stiffed somebody in the poker game last night. The back markers poker game, I guess.
The back markers poker game. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah. Speaking of back markers, I tweeted last night. I said one of the back markers is gonna wreck and it's gonna set this race off. I tweeted this with 100 laps ago or something. Or however, whenever Denny Hamlin stopped on track. Or didn't even stop on track when he went slow. Yeah. And as soon as I sent that tweet, caution comes out for Hamlin slow on track. And I was like, well, I mean, Hamlin was a back marker today, so I wasn't exactly wrong.
It counts, dang it.
Yeah, which that should not have been a caution.
No, it shouldn't have. But
no.
I mean, I'm not surprised. NASCAR was like,
they were looking for anything.
Do something.
Yeah, I mean, they went, what was it? What lap was that on?
I don't know.
It was
around lap 300, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was. It was around 100 to go. And that was the first caution that wasn't a stage caution in this race.
Yeah.
And we only had.
Which, I mean, that's happened before, even kind of recently. That's not the most shocking thing ever, but.
For Martinsville?
Yeah, I mean, that happened, I think, in. I think that happened in 2018. Yeah, in the spring race in 2018, the year it snowed out and we ran on Monday. We only had 4 cautions all day.
Oh, really? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Um,
But that race was far more interesting than this
yeah,
one.
exactly.
Yeah.
This and we're gonna dive into it more. Like, it was just not a good race, and we were worried about this with the next gen car.
The moment they announced we were running 670 at the short tracks or tracks shorter than a mile and road courses before they announced 670 everywhere except Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta. I was worried about this because we have better brakes now. We have better suspensions, better transmissions, and now you're going to cut the horsepower down. And I kept hearing you can drive this thing way harder in the corner. And I'm like, oh boy, where have we heard this before? And then I thought back to 2019. This looked like a 2019 Martinsville race.
Yeah.
And actually worse. But it being worse than 2019 probably had more to do with the temperature, to be honest. Otherwise, I feel like it's probably in the same boat. So yeah, it was, I've been concerned about this exact scenario playing out, and it played out exactly the way I had feared, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it was just, a lot of it was you have so much rear downforce.
And apparently a lot of dirty air, which
and a lot of dirty air. Well, and they said that with this diffuser, it almost
I thought the whole point was it was supposed to take away the dirty air, though.
Yeah, but didn't they say something like the faster you go, the better this thing works. So the slower you go, it's not gonna work as well. And the corner speeds are just they're so high. And this is the exact problem we had in 2019. When the corner speeds are high, you don't have guys getting runs off the corner and making moves. I mean, I don't know if you paid attention to the scoring monitor. Literally, me and Michael were sitting there. No one. There was like 20 laps in the top 20. One guy made a pass, and it was Kyle Larson on Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, and he dogged him for like 80 laps to do it.
You could get there, but you couldn't get by him.
Yeah, I was watching Larson dog Harvick for like 80 laps, and I just you couldn't do anything. I mean, he would get close, and then just you couldn't hold it off the corner close enough to get back to him in the next set. And yeah, it was like that all night. It
reminds me of comments Kevin Harvick made. He actually made them on the Dale Jr. download. It was after the Charlotte test with the 550 package with next gen, and he said that everything you do to this car goes to the rear, and so he's like, this car is so tight, and that's why. And
that's when we had a lot.
It
of
almost makes sense
out.
because now we're getting to these tracks where you're going slower speeds, and we're seeing this play out.
Yeah.
Where you can get kind of up two guys, but you can't get by them. And a lot of people, look back at the LA Coliseum race, and I think that does breathe some light just because it was a good race, but it's so different than any other road course we have. And you got to take into the fact that Richmond and Martinsville were both cold races.
Yeah. Like LA, you couldn't stay on the throttle long enough for that to make a difference.
Yeah. Well, and even then it seemed like you couldn't, it was hard to pass.
Oh, it was definitely hard to pass. I mean, you could have put,
it was hard to differentiate.
At LA, you could have unrestricted it. It would have been still ridiculously hard to pass just because of the size of the track.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, may have made it worse because guys really wouldn't be able to get on the throttle at all. But
yeah, I mean, Chase led the first 185 laps uncontested, and then he lost the lead to William Byron. And the only reason he lost the lead is because his pit crew sucks. He lost the lead on pit road, and that was the final lead change of the race, minus a few laps because of green flag pit stops towards the end. Yeah, Chase led 185. William Byron led 212 for a total of 397 laps led between the two of them, and the rest of the field led however much, 3 laps plus a couple overtime.
Got one, and
yeah. which Hendrick's now led over 10,000 laps at Martinsville, so that's fun.
Congrats to them.
But
I looked over at my brother when Byron won the race off pit road, and I said, I think he just won this race.
yeah, I mean, it really did seem like it.
Yeah.
You saw, I mean, and even when you hit guys, which and I don't, this is really necessarily that big of a problem, but I noticed when you hit guys, you're not moving them up the hill as much as you were, and that's because one, the rear of the cars is so stuck to the ground, and two, I think it just has to do with the bumpers. They're not as,
Yeah.
they're more giving as far as like, when you hit a guy, you're not hitting a bumper bar and,
Yeah, you would hit a
really
bumper
upsetting
bar.
his car.
You'd hit a bumper bar and you could kind of like get under it a little bit and kind of
Yeah,
move him up.
it's like, for instance, this race right here, Kevin Harvick, 2011 Martinsville, when he passed Dale Jr. Jr. tried to hit him back, but he hit his back bumper, and his bumper was just flapping. He's like, it was like stepping in a bucket of water, and I felt like that's what it was like when you hit guys.
Yeah,
like you can move guys up, but it take a hell of a hit.
Yeah,
to get them up.
I mean, hell, Ross when they had that moment where Chastain and Kyle Busch and a few other guys got checked up getting into turn 3, and I mean Ross kind of nailed the guy in front of him. I don't remember exactly who it was, but that still didn't move him that far up the racetrack. Yeah.
I mean, you saw Logano, he got into Byron pretty good there going into one on the last lap, and he got Byron off the bottom, but it didn't upset his car that much.
Yeah, he was still able to get away from him.
Yeah. Gibbs cars were nowhere.
Yeah,
well,
except
two of the Gibbs cars.
Bell was okay for a while.
Yeah. Truex and Hamlin mainly.
Yeah.
And these are two guys we said last week for Richmond. If they didn't perform at Richmond, we'd be worried. And they came out and performed at Richmond, but now they got me all sorts of fucked up because now they ran like shit last night. Now I don't know what to think of Gibbs right now.
The way last night played out, I would almost put it more on they didn't have a great qualifying. And
where did Hamlin start? Hamlin didn't start that bad.
I thought he was like decently far back.
Really? I know Truex was.
I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, Truex was
Hamlin definitely dropped though.
Yeah, I mean there were a handful of guys that dropped, but that may have just been because of difference in conditions from practice to the race.
I guess, but it definitely doesn't bode well for him.
No, but I feel like they'll figure something out. Maybe that's just me. I feel like they're gonna figure it out eventually.
Yeah, I guess it's just interesting.
I don't get worried about Joe Gibbs racing.
No, I mean they've been so good for so long, but it definitely did kind of puzzle me a little bit why they're so bad. Like we said, the track, cold temperatures plus cold tires equaled no rubber getting laid down and also not much tire wear, which equals no fun. And we got some driver quotes from it. Austin Dillon, all these came from, two of these came from Bob Pockers, and then one of them came from, I believe, Jeff Gluck. Austin Dillon said, when it gets hot and slick, it'll be a different race. Some people want a different tire, but it's going to change drastically with the weather. Then they asked, Richmond and Martinsville were both cold, and it's easy to say the car isn't great on short tracks. Austin replied, he said, it's not true at all. We saw it at the Clash. That was a great race. I don't agree with that statement. I think it's just, it was a night race at Martinsville. It was, 38 degrees. I'm freezing cold right now, and you can have a great race. But you got to have tire wear, and there was just no rubber put down.
Yeah.
Which
we've had really good Martinsville races when it was really cold though.
That's exactly what I was saying. He was 2017.
Yeah.
Freezing cold. I mean, a lot of the fall races and the spring races have been really cold. It being cold at Martinsville is not a new thing. Last night it was definitely one of the colder Martinsville races.
Yeah.
But I don't see it. I've never seen the track not rubber up that much. Never.
I'm trying to think of, not that much. Even
in 2019 when they had the hardest tire in the world and they said they could have run 1,000 laps on one set of tires, I still felt like they rubbered up the track more.
Yeah, I mean, like the tires weren't even like putting out that many marbles. It was relatively clean on the top of the track.
Yeah.
By the end of the race, and there were a few big chunks, but the track was not littered with it like it usually is. I'm of the opinion that I'm willing to give it a shot when it's hotter, but I ultimately deep down, I don't feel like it really will be that much better.
I don't think it will either.
I think I don't want to immediately jump on the bandwagon and just start hating on the next gen car. I think we need to look at changing something.
Well, yeah, and that kind of leads me to this. Then we go to Joey Logano. He says, I don't think the racing was bad, but he was very hesitant when he said it. Yeah. Very much trying not to get a nice hefty fine from NASCAR. I don't think the racing was bad, but it definitely was harder to pass. No one can pass without getting to the bumper. And it's definitely harder to get there. I was faster than the 3 the whole run and just couldn't get there. I thought it would be harder to pass, but not that hard. The other thing is the tires don't wear out, and that's a big problem. We got to make the tires wear. You can't run a whole run and only slow down half a second. Then they posted a question to him. You would expect Goodyear to be conservative on a tire, on tire wear when you come to a track with a new car. And Joey responded, you can't be conservative. Our sport is not conservative. Look at what we've been doing. Look at what we've been doing. We've been going for it in every department. We have to go for it in the tire wear department. I agree with that.
I fully back Joey Logano.
Yeah.
We need tire wear to get some short track racing.
Yes. You did the thing. I definitely agree with Joey too. I think that's not going to be the fix all for it, but that would help. You can't. Tire wear creates comers and goers. You'd be able to get the guys more, I feel like.
Yeah.
Granted, it's so, like they were saying, you get so tight in traffic. You can't get to guys.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of Joey's point, but tire wear always helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
It always helps. I mean, last week at Richmond, I feel like you can't even really compare Richmond to Martinsville necessarily, because we saw kind of the same Richmond race that we've seen.
Yeah.
In the past 10 years, really. Whereas Martinsville, we've had plenty of examples of different packages and ones that work and ones that don't work. Yeah. And we have a pretty good example in particularly, we keep harping out 2019. That was when they ran, did they run 6 or 750? They ran 750, but with the high downforce.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was no tire wear. You couldn't pass for shit. You get tight behind cars. And this reminds me a lot of it.
Yeah. The race reminded me exactly of that.
Yeah.
And ironically, Byron had his best Martinsville races with 2 very similar packages. So go figure.
Yeah. But, and those 2 races, Truex and Keselowski won, and both of them led upwards of 260 or 70 or
440 and 460.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all but, 60 and 40 laps in a 500 lap race. So,
yeah, I remember those. It was cool the first time it happened when Brad did. I was like, "Oh, that's pretty awesome." And then Truex came, and then Truex came back and did it again. I was like, "Oh, okay, something's up here."
Yeah, well, that's funny. Jeff Gluck tweeted, Chase Elliott's led the first 185 laps of the race. That hasn't ever happened at Martinsville before, and that's pretty remarkable. And Dell Jr. commented, asterisk, unremarkable.
Wow.
Yeah. Junior was not having it. He did not like this race at all.
I'm wondering, so I know NASCAR wants to keep as much of the cars the same track to track.
But I think they got to add horsepower again or take the spacer off.
Yeah. What
would
race? What would it hurt?
Exactly. Just for the short tracks.
Yeah.
You don't even have to do it for the super speed or not super speedway. It's the road courses.
No.
Road course, it looks like one of the best package now.
Either that or
saying something.
Yeah, either that or 750. I think taking it off completely would do the trick. That and maybe get rid of the diffuser for short tracks.
Yeah, I mean they're already doing it for Bristol Dirt.
Yeah, it seems like it hurts more than it helps at a track that's smaller.
Yeah.
So,
and you have to come with the softer tire. And I think we do have to give the fall race a shot because I would imagine Goodyear will come with the softer tire.
Yeah, I would imagine. And it'll be during the day, so that alone will, even if it is still on the cool side, that alone will help with making it a little slicker track temp wise. So. This has me worried for a race like the Bristol night race.
Yeah.
If we go there with this exact package, I feel like you're going to see a lot of the same, just a bit faster.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they figure out a fix before then.
I mean, yeah, hopefully. I could see them being stubborn though, but hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Yeah. I'm wondering for Darlington. I think Darlington's fast enough.
Darlington is rough enough too that even if it is cool or whatever, and it'll be a day race too, tire fall offs should still happen even if they bring stones. Which hopefully they won't, but I think they need to be doing more testing. I feel like they didn't really
do much testing at Martinsville with this car. So I think, hopefully they'll bring a softer tire. And they probably do need to look at the rules package as far as the horsepower specifically. I think if you add in tire wear and the horsepower, I think the rear diffuser, you can leave the rear diffuser alone.
Yeah, it'd probably be fine. It'd probably be more like 2014 when we still had the high downforce and it didn't really affect it at Martinsville because we still had unkempt engines.
Yeah. And then the last quote, we have Ross Chastain. He had some interesting remarks. He said, I think we're misremembering the old Martinsville races. Y'all are asking if it was hard to pass. It's always hard to pass. I've only run 2 Martinsville races before tonight with fully funded teams, and it was damn near impossible to pass both times. I'm gonna go ahead and what?
Yeah. I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I mean,
how many passes for the lead during green did we see last year?
A lot. You could pass. Yeah. That's such bullshit.
Like, was it hard? Yes.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, but it was hard because it was hard because it was racy.
Yeah.
And like you had to move guys and you had to, it was hard because it was hard racing.
Yeah.
It was good hard racing. This was not last night was not hard racing. It was
guys were driving hard, but it wasn't hard racing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. It was hard to race. It wasn't hard racing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they asked him, could Goodyear go a little more aggressive with the tire? And Ross said, all I know about tires are that they're round and black. Other than that, I have no idea. So great insight, Ross. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fair enough. If
that long,
if he doesn't know, then he doesn't know. Then
I guess.
Whatever. But
yeah, I mean, I guess if you don't know, then yeah. But I feel like, I don't know. And then the last question, they asked him, would you like to see any other changes made, horsepower package changes? And Ross responded, what's crazy is I was fettering a throttle off the concrete onto the asphalt. It was hard to put the throttle down. That was the first time I'd had that at Martinsville, and I was smiling in the car. I was feathering it and I was passing people. My foot is tender after this race because I was managing the throttle, getting that blip into downshift. Now, there's some rear gear stuff we need to work on. We don't need to be shifting every lap. I think that's silly, but I get that they want to keep us in a box, but I had a blast, and I think that's where I think that's why there weren't wrecks. It's because it was hard to drive.
The race wasn't not interesting because there weren't wrecks.
Yeah.
Let's make this clear.
This is such everything he said. I was just like, you missed everything.
Yeah, Ross missed the point.
Hard.
We've been to a handful of Martinsville races in the past 5 years where there weren't very many cautions for incident.
Yeah.
And they were still good races because guys were actually allowed by what was going on to race each other. They had a
car and a package that could race each other.
They just happened to keep it very clean on those days.
Yeah. And
that's fine.
And that shows off that they're the greatest drivers in the world. But when you have this type of package where you can't get to a guy, it doesn't prove they're the greatest drivers in the world. You're putting the greatest drivers in the world in a box.
Yeah.
And that's never a good thing. That's what we have with the 550 package.
Which is what Ross even said and still missed the point.
Yeah, exactly. And now as far as the gear thing, I think there is some stuff they need to do with that. I think I did agree with him. The shifting every lap is a little bit silly.
I mean, would that make that much of a difference though?
It could. As far as like getting the power down off the corner, might allow you to get better runs on guys. But yeah, he was in the minority. Yeah. Like, if anything, it might be only him that thought what he thought. I mean,
sounded like everybody but
it
Ross
was hard to drive, and that was fun. No, it's hard. That was what the fuck.
Well, I mean, he could have fun driving the car during the race.
Yeah, but you ask any other driver, they did not have fun.
Yeah, no.
Every driver that got out of the car, even Ross didn't look like he had fun when he was talking about it. Every driver that got out of the car had a worried look on their face, like, damn, this sucked.
Yeah. It sounded like everybody kind of wanted to put that race on blast and just kind of tiptoed.
Yeah.
Which
I hate that we're being so negative, but I mean, what the fuck are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much positive to it.
I mean, it's a learning experience. As long as NASCAR takes this and goes back to school on it, then I mean,
and recent history has proven that they will. Yeah. So that's good.
This is still salvageable. It just came out of the gate poorly.
Yeah.
And that happens.
Kyle Busch, he stormed off. Yeah. William Byron wasn't even around on his cool down lap, and Kyle Busch was halfway to his damn hauler. We all looked at him and were like, who's Kyle going to fight? And he just walked back to his hauler. I would kill to heard a Kyle Busch interview after this race. It would have been absolute gold.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What'd you think of the race? Fucking terrible.
Fucking terrible. Car sucks. Everything about it sucks.
Goodyear sucks.
Yeah, it's fucking killed.
What do you think of Martinsville? It's fucking killed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where Ross. I don't know where he's going with that. That was.
I mean, it was bound to happen. We were bound to go to a track or a series of tracks even where the next gen car wasn't ready for. It was bound to happen. I thought it was possible it would be a track like Martinsville. Honestly, I've been thinking this for a long time now.
Yeah. Bottom line, you got to slow the cars down in the corner. You got to make tire wear.
Yeah. I knew when we were, I started to get worried when we were watching practice and I could see how far the guys were driving in the corner. I was like,
They looked fast. Yeah. They looked fast through the center. I guess it's, that's pretty much all I had for that. Guess it's time for the Happy Cat Kevin Harvick report. I don't actually know where Happy Cat is at the moment. He's probably downstairs, but we'll get into it. Kevin Harvick finished 14th. He took tires there late in the going on that last pit stop and couldn't move anywhere because the tires suck and weren't worth a damn thing.
Yeah.
I had a bottle of Goldschlager before the race that was worth way more than those tires. And yeah, he ran a Kevin Harvick Martinsville race. He ran back half of the top 10 / top 15 the entire race. That's been your Happy Cat Kevin Harvick report.
Away from the table.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
He did that and he ran a Kevin Harvick Martinsville race. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's been your Happy Cat Kevin Harvick report. He sucks here.
Yeah.
Martinsville for me is not fun.
It's getting less fun by the day.
It is.
Yeah.
Like love the track.
Can we upgrade the facilities in turn 3 and 4? Everything over
Can we
there
upgrade the
sucks.
facilities everywhere?
Well, specifically turn 3 and 4. When I go to the front stretch, I'm like, wow, these are much nicer than where I'm normally at.
Yeah. And why we couldn't bring a video camera in?
Oh,
dude.
And then yesterday they didn't even like look in my backpack.
Oh, they looked in mine. Yeah, I guess it's turn 3. Yeah, you said
turn 3 and 4. They don't give a shit. You could bring in almost anything. I'm not going to specify what. I was joking about that all week, but you could bring in almost anything as long as it's not made of glass. They will say, "Sir, enjoy the race."
Yeah.
Turn 1 and 2, they're like,
"Hey man, you can't bring that knife in. It's made out of glass." Oh shit. What about my other knife? No, it's metal. You're good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Hey, we were talking about the tires. That brought me to the I wanted to bring up the most interesting part of the entire race, which was when we had green flag pit stops and everybody went into turn 3.
Yes.
Everybody was going into turn 3. I guess
like a fucking IndyCar race.
It looked exactly like an IndyCar race. And my group, we were sitting there just like, we were like, oh shit. And then Truex blew a tire and
it was cold tires, man. It was cold tires. Literally, I saw Kurt Busch about bust his ass down in turn 1 on cold tires, which that was actually fun. It didn't help the racing at all, but no. I mean, it was.
I mean, it took like, we saw a bunch of guys pit and then guys who had been on the track for 150 laps on that set of tires just blow by them. So,
thank you.
Yep.
That was quite interesting. I'd never seen that before, but it was a combination it was about the worst combination you could have asked for.
Yeah. For
last night. There's definite improvements that need to be made, but hopefully they'll listen to everybody and they'll make the improvements.
If NASCAR uses this as a learning experience, we're going to be okay. Put it that way.
Joining this next segment, where are we putting this on the bitching scale?
Oh God. Let's do
how low the tire wear is. That's at the bottom.
That's at the bottom. The top is us getting to interview Sam Mayer. So I'm going to put it down at the tire wear.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna have to think about that. That was awful.
Yeah.
Probably the worst race I've watched in person.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, is this the worst race I've ever seen in person?
Other than that, like one at USF 2000 race I saw at IRP. That was terrible.
I think, this might be one of the worst races I've ever seen in person. It's a damn shame for the argument of, I saw Jeff Gluck tweet this. It's a damn shame for the argument of we need more short tracks. And we built a car in a combination that hasn't performed well on short tracks yet. Yeah. So it sucks because we know it's not the track.
Yeah. We've got
Martinsville.
Decades of
exactly
proof of that.
So it's got to be fixed. But on bitch scale, I mean, it's damn near, it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
It is at the bottom. We saw William Byron win. I feel like we've hardly mentioned it, but he did win. He won 2 grandfather clocks this weekend, won the truck race, and then Brandon Jones won the Xfinity race, random.
Glad you actually called him Brandon Jones and not Eric Jones again.
Yeah. If you want to listen to us talk about the Xfinity and truck race, watch or listen to the Bushwhacker podcast, and you can hear our exclusive interview with Sam Mayer on there.
And you can find it on our YouTube channel as well.
Yes, it's on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, William Byron, out of 8 races, he was the first guy to win again. We got a lot of top guys without wins. Chase Elliott's still yet to win. Martin Truex hasn't won yet. Kevin Harvick hasn't won in 15 years. And Kyle Busch has not won yet, just to name a few. And then we got guys knocking on the door the first one, like Reddick, Suarez. I don't know, man. I'm still sold on the fact that we could have 16 winners.
I still think like the top guys are going to figure it out, and then they're just going to start dominating. Now, let's see. So I think everybody that you mentioned, I'm still not 100% sold on Suarez, but other than that, everybody I think that you mentioned, I think will win. So that's what, 5 more?
It's 6 more.
6 more. So that puts us at.
It puts us
13?
at 7 plus 6, 13. And I think I'm definitely leaving out. Logano hasn't won yet either.
I'm not sold on Logano winning a race this year.
Oh, Blaney hasn't won yet.
14. Hell, I'm not even sure I'm sold on Blaney winning a race this year.
But someone's gonna win. So I mean, yeah.
I think we're looking at about 14.
I don't know. I'll call it out right now. I think we'll get 16.
All right.
I think we'll get 16. Don't know if we'll get 17. I think we'll get 16.
Because here's my thing. The guys who have won. So I think Elliott will win for sure. I mean, he's leading the points right now. They've been doing good.
Well, Brian Blaney was leading the points last week. Joey Logano's what, 3rd?
Yeah, I'm still not. I'm not sold on Joey Logano. I'm just.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Austin Dillon or Eric Jones or somebody like that won too.
Well, okay. Here's my point that I guess I'm slowly trying to get to.
We got 3 super speedways in there. A couple more road courses.
Denny Hamlin's going to win all the super speedways. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm not sold on RFK, Chris Buescher, or Brad anymore.
No, they've definitely disappointed.
Yeah. Could they win Talladega, Daytona, or Atlanta? Yes.
Yeah. Or Talladega or Daytona, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. What did I say?
You said Talladega, Daytona, Atlanta. Atlanta's still different. I didn't see as many normal traditional super speedway guys.
Well, yeah, but the only thing with Atlanta, even if it's not like a traditional super speedway, it's still a track where, it's still a wild card. Yeah. Someone out of the blue could. But the guys who have won, some of them are going to start to click off more wins. And I think that will just kind of separate the pack as far as who has and hasn't won. And we'll stop getting so many winners. Byron won last night. We've been saying this entire time on this podcast, Byron's going to pop off eventually. Well, here he goes. I wouldn't be shocked if he won 3-4 more times before the playoffs started. We've got Larson, they'll figure it out eventually. I think they have a good shot this week to figure it out. They'll win a couple more. Who else? Even though Hamlin and them were terrible today.
Your argument's not nearly as fun as my argument.
It never is. You like the ridiculous argument, and I like the realistic argument. That's why this works, buddy.
Oh, okay.
I'm the straight
But then we
man.
got Bristol Dirt next week.
Yes, and like I just said, that's a good opportunity for Kyle Larson.
It's also a good opportunity for a guy like Ricky Stenhouse or like maybe even a Daniel Suarez or like a Christopher Bell. I think, yeah, you definitely make a good argument for Larson for next week because we saw this test. Stuart Friesen tested the next gen car at Bristol Dirt earlier this week. They took off the rear diffuser. They even did a run with no windshield in it. I would assume they'd had a screen or something. And they had mud flaps. And the track looked to be a little bit faster too. But Stewart said that could have been just the track conditions. This looks like it's going to be a significantly better race than last year.
Yeah.
The car looked like it's sliding a lot more than it was last year, which is only going to play into the dirt guys' hands.
Yeah. And if you look at last year, Larson and Bell ended up in that accident, which was 100% Bell's fault. and that's not a hot take, but remember Larson and them had to change an engine after practice because they weren't ready for whatever with the grill opening. So if they don't have to do that, they were going to start, I think, P1, if I remember correctly.
I don't know.
Yeah, because they finished second in Atlanta. They were leading the points, give or take. I think they would have started P1. That doesn't happen because how fast he was, they would have been gone. So he's not even in that spot at that moment to be in that accident. So yes, Kyle Larson should be the heavy favorite this week, and they're going to fucking win. You know what? I'm going to pull a Dale Earnhardt. I'm going to put it down right now. Oh,
Kyle Larson's going to win.
This is going to bite me in the ass so hard.
You just sealed his fate. Larson's not going to win now.
I'm sorry, Kyle.
Shit. If you're picking Kyle, can I pick Kevin Harvick?
No.
I feel like now that you said
I can pick Kyle because I picked him for Auto Club and he won.
I know, but I feel like it's a safe bet that something stupid like Kevin Harvick winning a dirt race is going to happen now that you've declared that Kyle Larson's going to win.
I guess you shouldn't have picked him for Auto Club. That's your
son
fault.
of a bitch.
You can still put a bet on him, or no, we're in North Carolina. You can put him in your DFS lineup, I guess, if you want to do that.
Yeah, shout out to the garage guys. I'll get Chase to help me out with that one.
Yeah, get him to send you the DraftKings thing, and it'll get you $53 or whatever. He was telling me about that.
Nice.
On Saturday.
Cool. Yeah. We met Junior and we met Dale this weekend.
Yeah, I had to think about that perhaps.
One more thing about Bristol Dirt. Kyle Busch made this comment. He said, cut the cord. As Richard Petty said, dirt takes the sport backwards. It's a mess. Our cars are not fit to put on a good dirt show. I've seen good dirt shows. Well, that's no fun, Kyle.
I'll take a page out of Door Bumper Clear. I'm spot off on that one. I don't think you can get a more ice cold take than that. I don't think.
The race last year was not bad.
No, it wasn't. It may not have been fun for a driver because of the conditions and all that. But first of all, shit canning it after 1 year, or at least, verbally like that after one race is a terrible idea. Two, it's pretty much verifiably going to be a better product. Now, if it rains out again, like it's looking like it might,
God, I hope not.
Then we are going to get a Monday afternoon race, which will negate some
Hopefully they'll do Monday night.
I guess they don't usually do that though. Because that just extends the weekend even longer.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, Kyle's just an asshole. I love Kyle sometimes, but sometimes it's just like, well, you're a fucking party pooper.
I mean, I get it to an extent. If it's a track you just didn't gel with, then I get like not liking it.
He did gel with it. He was going to win the damn race, and he overheated.
On lap 3. How the hell do you know if he was going to win the race?
Because it's Kyle fucking Busch.
Yeah, Kyle Larson was still in the race at that point. He was not going to win the damn race.
Hell, Kyle Larson still looked like he was going to win the race even when he was 2 laps down with no front bumper.
Yeah, that was the funny thing. Real quick, since we didn't have a podcast back then, I want to bring this up now. Larson with no front bumper when they tore the track up and redid it, got rid of all the wear and tear on it from 150 laps, still was putting down fast laps. But once the track kind of came in and it rubbered up a little bit, then with that aero deficiency he had, it kind of screwed him. But when the track was green, I guess, I don't know if that's a dirt term or not, but we'll have to ask
the track
our
was
boy
brown.
Joe. The track was brown. We'll have to ask our boy Joe and Kyle.
Ooh, I like that. I like that little winky wink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever the term for a green track is in dirt. He was still picking them up and putting them down. So
all right.
Anyway,
well,
I'm clearly excited and I'm ready to get my heart broken again.
Yeah. It's like me on my Tinder profile. I'm living my best life. So yes, I'm ready to be hurt again.
Perfectly apt description. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, Bristol Dirt should be fun. We're going to have a really fun weekend there. We'll be at the truck race and the cup race. Hopefully it doesn't rain. Please, for the love of God, do a little rain dance. Thank you.
I don't know what that was. I'm sorry.
I don't know either. If you want to catch Seth dancing, there's a bit of it in the Richmond vlog.
Is it?
Yes, there is.
I danced? Oh, shit.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Or maybe it was from this week. I don't know.
It might have been from this week.
Yeah. Should be a fun time. I'm excited. I'm super excited. This car looks awesome on dirt.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a hell of a race. And we're going to have a big show next week, man. We're going to have Weston Miller on.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we're going to have Weston Miller on and maybe somebody else. Maybe two other people. You never know.
Maybe.
Never know. Never know. Big Moter, Small Blade might throw out an announcement next week, and you have no idea about it. Yeah.
What?
Whoa. Content. Picks for Bristol.
I already
Kyle
said
Larson.
it. I already said it. Kyle Larson.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Seth. Yep. Up.
Hang on. Let me say it properly. Kyle the fuck Larson will win the Bristol dirt race.
Kyle, we're sorry. That just sealed your fate that you were not going to win.
Well, okay, so for what it's worth, every time I've picked Kyle on this pod, he's won.
It's the first time for everything.
Yeah, I know. ready to be heartbroken again.
Yeah, apologize. We didn't put out the picks last week on Instagram. I tried on the pace laps, and nothing would load. I don't even remember who I've picked and who I haven't picked. I've picked every guy in the wrong week, so that's just fantastic. I don't even know who to pick.
I mean, you got more points than I did this week, so.
I did beat you with Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, since Truex was just nowhere.
Dog shit.
Yeah.
God,
Martin.
I don't have a clue who to pick.
Go with my boy Ryan's new favorite driver.
Ricky actually, hold on, that might be a good move.
Yeah,
Ricky
there you go.
Stenhouse. Nah, I don't think he's gonna beat Larson.
I mean,
just out of pure spite. Christopher Bell.
All right.
Yeah.
When we do the little video,
I really don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that pick at all.
If you were to win this week, you're going to be like, damn it.
Yeah, I'm not in love with that pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to your boy Ryan. He came to his very first NASCAR race.
Yep.
Loves
I think
cars.
he was
Loves
the
cars.
only one in Ridgeway, that was having a good time. I believe.
Technically, Martinsville is in Ridgeway. Good job.
Yeah, I just called it Richmond on accident. Whoops. But yes, I think he was the only one in Ridgeway having a fun time. Sorry.
Your boy Ryan loves cars, hates racing, but he had a fantastic time. Fell in love with it. So
yeah, he liked drag racing. But
if there's a silver lining to this race, Ryan had a good time. Yep. Cool. I guess that's it.
That is it.
Oh, sundress and dumbass.
Oh yeah. I think we forgot that for the Bushwhacker pod too.
No, we did. We did.
Yeah.
I feel like, all right.
Do we need
for
to
the
do
whole
it here,
weekend? Then? I feel like this one we'll do it for the whole weekend.
Okay. So sundress for the whole weekend. Sam Mayer.
Nah. I want to. Dale Jr. Just because Jr., man.
All right,
Dale Jr. Koozie.
I'm down.
Dude, Dale Jr., man, he's just great. Love Jr., man.
Gotta love Jr.
Dumbass, obviously, is Ty Gibbs. 100%.
Yes.
No,
Not
hands
even-
down. Hands
not
down.
even close.
Ty Gibbs. Yeah.
There wasn't anybody in the same ballpark.
No, there wasn't. There was not. That's been the show. Next up is
The Bristol Dirt Race. America's dirt race.
I was going to say a Buddy Pulley Safari.
Oh,
But yes,
my bad.
that is up. It is time for a Buddy Pulley Safari.
Hello, this is Buddy Pulley Safari from Ville. Show them the Ville of Martins. They are famous. They are famous for hot dogs. But today, Dale Jr. is coming back. So we have here today, this is Cooking with Buddy on the Buddy Pulley Safari. We will be making Dale Jr.'s world famous banana and mayo sandwiches. We have here today these fine Dole bananas. This Food Line brand bread. Hellman's mayonnaise, obviously. We have Dale Jr. himself. We have our steak knife. And of course, drink of choice, Budweiser, because this Bud is for you. And to garnish, 2002 Dale Jr. Charlotte Motor Speedway sponsor, Yellow Wafer. So let's start. First you would like to crack the banana. You already cracked the banana. So then you would like to peel the banana. Right? And then you take this nice fork, which is probably from like Wendy's or somewhere, and you dispose of that, economically friendly. And then you cut the banana. Now we asked Rachel Ray. Actually, I did this out of order. We need the mayonnaise first. We asked Rachel Ray if she would come on the pod, but we had some scheduling difficulties, mainly because she doesn't know who we are. But it's okay. Well, Gordon Ramsay was also busy. He was busy yelling at children. Him and Kyle Busch have that in common. So we have all of the mayo. By the way, we did sanitize the car trunk before starting this video. So we cut up the bananas, and this is going just wonderfully. Cut up into fine, thinly cut slices. Like so. Like, see, thinly cut. So we're here at Martinsville, and the most NASCAR thing ever just happened. They said, gentlemen, start your engines, and then it started pouring down rain. And I was like, fuck this, I've seen this before, and it doesn't end in racing. So now we're here, pan around, we're in the concourse area, and Dale Jr.'s not racing right now, and everybody here is disappointed. This is Buddy Pulley Safari from Martinsville. And you put it right there. And then you take the steak knife and put some more mayonnaise on there. Maybe not that much mayonnaise, because that's a lot. You spread it around. Spread it around like rubber. Like PJ1 rubber. And maybe some more bananas, because I don't like that much mayonnaise.
But I'm pretty sure 2 + 2 is 4. So, I'm being told it's 5. Apparently I'm wrong.
The answer is always 5 because Kyle Larson is 5.
Oh, my bad.
And Seth will lick all the mayonnaise off my car after we're done with this. And by ugh, he means yum. Oh, and we almost forgot my garnish. No wafers. That is the Buddy Pulley Safari special touch right there. Put that on there, put your steak knife back in the mayonnaise, and you try it. I'd say that's almost better than a Martinsville hot dog, but I would be lying.
All right, so Buddy made the world's most gourmet sandwich possible.
Dude, yeah. Rachel Ray can lick my nuts. This is top tier. Top tier.
Mom has herself a Daniel Suarez helmet that she'll sport throughout the race tomorrow. She's trying to figure out how to put it together. It's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. She's just a little kid. Big Dale Jr. guy, obviously. Yeah. How long you been a Junior fan?
Since I was born.
Since you were
Really?
born?
1998.
You've been coming to Martinsville a while?
No, this is my first time here, actually.
You've been going to other races?
Yeah, I've been to Atlanta, Talladega, other places, but I came here for Junior, obviously.
We're twins, obviously. 05?
Yep, 05 because of the blue.
Yes, because of the blue. Yeah, people tried to deny that blue actually exists, and it did exist. So yeah, dude, Junior gonna win tonight, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so. Yeah. I was there for Richmond. So I just want to see him run well.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly.
Just run all the laps, right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. Well, hey, any last words before we watch Junior win this fucking race?
Raise hell, praise Dale.
All right. So, apparently we're not allowed to bring fucking cameras into Martinsville Speedway, which is something I've never heard of in my life.
What happened is they watched Cars 2, where they used the camera bombs to blow the cars up, and I think that's what it was. I think it's because
the lens has glass.
Oh yeah, I think that too.
Yeah, so you can bring like a professional still camera.
Yeah.
But like a GoPro and a 10-year-old Sony camcorder,
yeah,
that's too much.
100% not.
That's too much, yeah.
Not today.
So anyway, Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer got in a fight.
Yo, Colin, Ty Gibbs needs to take his fucking helmet off.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
By the clock, it dings. Dude, my hot hand is like getting hotter.
Yeah,
like, this is
my ass
awesome.
is on fire.
Yeah. So this is breaking. Like, this is our first driver interview ever, so this is fucking cool.
Hell
And
yeah.
dude, Sam Mayer, what the hell happened?
I don't know. I was racing for 100 grand. I mean, I was having a lot of fun with it. Like, we came from deep in the field, so we had a lot of work to do from there, and we ended up in the top 3 there at the last restart. And man, that was hectic for sure. I mean, the 19 moved us both up the racetrack. I was like, man, that kind of threw my race away right there. So I was like, all right, now I just got to race for 100 grand. So I put the bumper to him, and I don't know what happened after that, but it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. So haymakers being thrown. You took your helmet off. First of all, handshake for that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Any words exchanged at all?
Just a couple. I think it was just mostly like.
Bleep,
like
bleepity bleep bleep.
Not necessarily that. It was mostly just looks at each other. Like we do what are you doing? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't really know or care. I mean, I was fine either way. Like I did all the normal stuff, but I mean, he did what he did. It's fine. We went to the NASCAR hauler, talked about it a little bit, and nothing special happened there, so it's all right.
No, I wasn't rolling.
What the fuck? You didn't get that? What the fuck were you doing?
You had one
You're
job!
the worst cameraman ever.
You filmed me.
Are you rolling this right now? Are you yelling at? Describe the disappointment.
Well, you see, I'm a Brandon Jones fan, and this truck, the Brandon Jones hauler, the guy was telling me to come in the door, and, I thought I was going to go back there, see the car, and then he tricked me, and now I feel like a stupid fuck. So now I'm just going to go home, and I'm going to cry myself to sleep.
Nice. Well, I will say, you were the only motherfucker who I thought would pick Brandon Jones. So, hell of a job.
Thank you.
We're about to meet Dale Jr. Right there. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this. You did a hell of a job. Hell of a job.
Thank you, man. You got it, buddy.
Hey, thanks for doing the podcast, man.
Where you doing? Can you sign my camera?
Yeah, where you want to do that?
Wherever. Thanks, Dale.
fuck Dale Jr.'s on the fucking camera.
I'm wearing a tie at a racetrack. I don't look like I'm supposed to be here. I look like I'm supposed to be in the fucking booth. But I'm here. So we're walking to Martinsville. Here's Seth. There's Colin. I'm wearing a tie at a racetrack. This feels really fucking weird. So, tie, beer. Not like Ty Gibbs though.
No, fuck that mother.
No, fuck Ty Gibbs.
Buddy takes his helmet off before he fights. It's fine.
Excuse me?